welcome to Tala Talks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. The time right now is almost 2 p.m. and yeah, we are reeking in a blazing sun, but sunshine is better than none. So in today's video, I'm gonna tell you what it's like to travel around the Philippines as a budget traveler. And you know, your girl is always gonna be the OG budgetarian. Good idea to just chill out here. I'm gonna sit on the umbrella because sometimes there are ants. I don't know how they get to me. Like if I'm just chilling out, I'll feel a little pop, and then I'm like, oh, where did that come from? They just, I don't know. I don't, ants fly? I know some ants can fly, but yeah, we're gonna enjoy this little shade here. And you also wanna go to an area where it's windy so that there's not too many mosquitoes or flies. There are many ways to travel around the Philippines when you're on a budget. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of my personal experiences. And the first one would be, since you know I've started to develop a lot of these medical conditions in my early 20s, and so getting around as a solo budget traveler can be a bit tricky, especially when you are left to your own device to carry heavy bags. And because of that, I do have a PWD, and having that PWD, or maybe if you don't have a card, you can just ask for help from porters. A lot of Filipinos here, and in so many cases, like in jeepneys, buses, strikes, or even especially airports, you just mention to them that you have a medical condition and that you need help. And what I love about traveling around the Philippines, there's always gonna be porters to help you out. Is that a man swim? Oh, he's snorkeling. I think he's trying to catch fish. Check it out. I thought I saw something moving in the ocean. I just wasn't sure. I swear, I thought it was a seal or something, but yep, it is a man. I'm very sorry, I do get distracted. I love diving and I love the marine wildlife, so if ever I do see a whale randomly or dolphins, which is so rare for me, yeah, that would be a celebration. So porters, for example, in the airport, I think they only charge 50 pesos, which is like $1. That's incredible. And from your vehicle to the check-in counter, the porters will help you out with that. And if you are traveling via boat or ferries, because I know sometimes that can be a cheaper option instead of taking flights, there are porters as well. However, I would advise for you to double check on an official to see how much they charge, because you know, sometimes you can give 100 pesos, that's okay depending on how many bags you have. And there was a time a porter was kind of making a fuss and demanding like a lot from me and Eddie, and I don't know if it's because Eddie is a Westerner. You know, sometimes they have this bias they have this prejudgments of like, oh, okay, this person looks like he can pay more, but you know, it's, you know, even if the distance that we took was very, very minimal, he was kind of making a fuss in front of everyone, wanting to charge us something that we felt that was way beyond what he should have been charging. So for example, if typically we pay 100 pesos, he was demanding 500 pesos, and you know, per each person. I thought that was a bit very strange. So it's best that if you do hire a porter, make sure they are officially from the terminal, because sometimes they will wear a porter shirt but they're really not from there. Make sure you get them from the terminal itself, like inside, not outside. And then also ask from the officials, like the ticket booth, or ask them how much to pay the porters, to make sure that you're giving proper price. And if you want to tip after that, that's always your call. So like myself, I do speak English. English is our first language at home. And so if you don't know how to speak Filipino or Tagalog or Bisaya or any of our dialects, we have so many dialects here. Surigao non. Um, almost and 100%, almost every Filipino here understands English and can probably speak it. If not, they will say nosebleed, which just translates to I'm struggling. I'm like not finding the proper English words to come out, but 100% they will understand you. And I think this has a lot to do with the American occupancy during that time in history after the Spanish came to colonize us for more than 300 years. The Americans took over, and yeah, we're just fed with a lot of English languages. Like our commercials are in English. We have a lot of McDonald's, even Hollywood songs. Like there's so much English going on here. So compared to other Asian countries, and I know other Asian countries are really good with English as well. The Philippines has one of the, I think we have a lot of manpower in call centers. So let's say if you're calling an airlines that's not even Filipino, chances are you might even be talking to a Filipino. Like for example, there was a time I called Agoda because, was it Agoda? Yeah, I know it was Agoda. We were having some issues with our check-in over in Europe. We were in Italy particularly. And then when I called, I noticed, this girl speaking in English sounds very Filipino. And I was like, Pinoy kayo? And then she said, yeah. So, I mean, incredible. Imagine Agoda. I don't think Agoda is Filipino. I'm not sure if Agoda is American. But yeah, you call up customer service from different companies. And don't be surprised if who you're speaking with is a Filipino. It's cheaper labor. And our English is, I would like to think it's understandable. This is actually something that's very nice and something that I appreciate so much. In most restaurants or establishments, for example, you're lining up to go to the cinema, or you want to buy ice cream, or you're lining up for the terminal, and you are traveling with a senior citizen or a PWD, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that there is always going to be a line. Not that we're looking to skip queues, but sometimes if you're with an elderly person and they are struggling to stand up for, let's say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, it's very nice that most Filipino establishments give priority to seniors, and they make the experience of living at the golden age more pleasant, more enjoyable, and they don't have to endure any pains that they have in the body. So yeah, that's one thing that you can look forward to when you travel in the Philippines, is that you're gonna have some senior citizen lines as well as PWD lines. I don't know if you can hear the sound of the ocean. I will really do my best to make sure that the background music of this is not too loud. It's just so relaxing. Who needs a spa? This is like mental massage. The next one is, I was forgetting about the next one. That's how the sound of the waves just kind of emptied my mind and just made me zonk out into the sound of the sea. The next one is that, aside from Filipinos being super friendly, inviting you to their homes, inviting strangers to their homes to eat, a lot of establishments here close very, very late. So if you get the munchies at 10 p.m., oh, there's a bird that flew so close to our face. If you get the munchies at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or even midnight or even 1 a.m., there's so many food establishments that are open 24 hours. A lot of them are open until past midnight. So it's quite fun to go out for a midnight snack run if you fancy, I don't know, feeding your belly at a very unusual hour. So yeah, you're never gonna go hungry. When I was living in the UK with Eddie, a lot of times when I would like to go out and look for some ice cream or snacks, like I would have to remind myself that, oh, this is not gonna be available at midnight or at 11 p.m. because yeah, places they're closed at normal hours. And I remember Eddie saying it's because we treat the establishments treat staff like human beings that need to go home for their families, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But you know, they can also hire people who are single, don't have, you know, any loved one to go home to. But yeah, like there's just so many food options here in the Philippines. You'll have 24-hour delivery services. You'll have 24-hour restaurants where you can buy food. And the last but not the least, Filipinos are so friendly. I know I've said this already, but you know, when I'm traveling as a solo Filipino traveler, and you know, sometimes I wouldn't say it gets lonely, because if you enjoy the company of yourself, then you should be fine. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable just being with their own minds and their own thoughts, and that's why for me, I think meditation is really important in having my morning exercise, like starting the day with a motorbike, cruising ride to yoga, and then doing yoga, and then cruising back home. You know, just it sets the mind, it conditions the mind to just, I don't know, chill out, like don't overthink things. And so a lot of people don't know how to be with themselves, right? They need distractions like, I don't know, YouTube, Spotify, social media, whatnot. And so if you find it challenging to be isolated, then worry not, because in the Philippines, if you talk to the locals, most likely you will make instant friends, and they'll probably invite you to their home to eat dinner or snacks, merienda or breakfast or lunch. It's just, or even inuman. In this area in Negros Oriental, they say shots, which is like shots, like shot, but it actually means to like drink. It doesn't necessarily mean tequila shot, like oh shots. Or yeah, it just means, oh, let's make inuman, or inuman tayo, inuman ta. I don't know if inuman is also Bisaya, but inuman for sure is Tagalog. But yeah, worry not, just don't be shy to reach out, make friends with the locals, and speak to those who have decided to move here, who have decided to move here, and who aren't locals, just whoever you jam with, whoever you vibe with. And for sure, it's gonna be easy enough for you to make friends. And don't be afraid to travel alone. Initially, I was afraid, and then I met Eddie, and then he made me more comfortable with the idea of just putting yourself in situations where you normally wouldn't find yourself in if you were always sheltered and being with the same people. It's really good to reach out and get to know different people, because in that sense, your decision making, your thoughts, your perception, it just expands wider and wider, and you grow more as a person. Anyway, I hope this video was good vibes. I hope this video sent you a lot of positivity. And you know, life is good, especially when you're by the sea. You don't need much to be happy. You don't need anything for me except for good health. As long as I can see, breathe, taste, you know, enjoy the five senses, as long as I've got my loved ones around, life is good. You really don't need much except for the essentials. Sending you lots of love and positivity. And I'll see you in the next video soon. Ciao for now. Bye.